Hey, it's me, Vicky Marie, and I'm on the avatar because I am in my pajamas. I'm going to bed straight after this stream. I'm really tired. I haven't had a nap today. It's been a funny sort of day. It's been a funny week, as you know. I've told you, I don't know why. It's just been one of those. It's just been funny. I can't believe it's only still Wednesday. It feels like bloody what feels like more than Friday. It's felt like Friday all day, and now I realise I've got Thursday to go yet before it's Friday. So yeah, it's just I don't know. I don't know what's going on. But so I'm going to bed because I haven't had time to have a nap for various reasons, mainly work related. Uh, I'm really tired because I was up early this morning. So look, I'm whinging again, but I'm not really whinging. I'm just explaining to you why I'm on the avatar because I'm in my pajamas and dressing gown. And but, anyway, there you go. So I hope you've all had a good day. How's your Wednesday been? Let me know how your Wednesday's been. I think the other reason why I am tired is because it is this case, this Madeline Soto case, this horrible, horrible man. And the more you go into it, the more horrible it seems to get, and it's very depressing, isn't it? So I am going to talk about it tonight because of these new charges that have come out, but still no murder charge, still no charges of the mum on the mum, so nobody's been charged for this poor girl's murder yet, Madeline Soto. But all this horrible information that's coming out about Stephan, the details of the life that she had to endure, it is very upsetting. So I think that's probably affecting me as well. I'll be glad when they just come out with the murder charges, and then that'll be it then, probably until for news wise, that'll be it until the trial or trials, of course, if Madeline's mum gets charged as well. So, yeah, I think the case is getting to me a little bit. I don't normally do children's cases, but I've sort of got wrapped up in this one way or another. And once I start with a case, I'll see it through to the end. I won't let it go. Now, we don't know, there's not much news about Samantha. I will be doing a video about Samantha probably in the morning because, I always hope that some news will come out overnight. The only real news that's come out on the Samantha Murphy case is, of course, there's been some miners, gold miners, trapped in a shaft not far from where where they've been searching for Samantha. Whether it's related, I don't think it's related, to be honest, but that's something I'm going to talk about in the morning, and we'll have more news about that by now. So let's say hello to everybody first of all. Yeah, I'm going to cheer you up at the end of this. I'm going to show you some things to make you feel better. Tomorrow night, of course, is the members live, and we will be talking about some serious things, but hopefully we'll have a little bit of fun at the same time. So let's have a look at everybody, say hello to everybody. Chumba, hi Chumba, hope you're okay. Hey Desi. Hi David. Hi Kelly. Oh, well, Kelly will know. There is no real news, is there, on the Samantha Murphy case? That twonk still hasn't given up where her body is. That's what obviously we're all waiting for at the moment on that case. Hi Amethyst. Okay. Hi Charlie. Hi Bridget. Hi Alana. Yeah, we need to have some fun again. When's the next party? Have we got to wait till Easter before we can have fun again? must be something in between. Anyway, we had Valentine's Day, didn't we? We had a bit of fun on Valentine's Day. So, hi, David. So, David, Lee Anderson has now quit the Reform Party and has been given the job of feeding the people of Gaza. And the government has given him £50 but won't change. Yeah, 30p Lee. That's what they should do. Give him the job. He says he can feed people for 30p each. He could feed the world, couldn't he? He could feed the world. Yeah, it's distressing, Charlie. It's distressing at all of us at the moment, Charlie. So we need to have some fun soon. Hi, Ocean. Hi, Heather. A kangaroo. Oh, yeah, a kangaroo fell down the shaft. But it was rescued. It was rescued. Hi, Blank Faces. Hi, Blind Bee. Oh, Chumba's having small potatoes with parsley butter, carrots, asparagus, and salmon. Oh, is it raining as well? That makes everything even more depressing, doesn't it? St. Patrick's Day, is that the next party? Yeah, we'll have a Yes, let's have a St. Patrick's Day party. That's a good idea. That'll cheer us up. When is it? Because I'm going on location next week, so yeah, I'm going to look into that. Yeah, let's have a St. Patrick's Day fiesta. Okay, so what this is, I almost don't even want to do this because it's just going to depress everybody, isn't it? But this document was released, with the of all the charges on this horrible man. It's talk about the most hated man in the world. I mean, this man, everybody is outraged at this man. But of course, what also is depressing is it won't just be him. Other people, there'll be other children out there, all over the world that are, undergoing this same torture. But anyway, let's have a look at it. So we know that. Let's get it over with. So I do think it's important, because I think it's important that we know what this man is capable of, that we understand what this man is. I do think it's important, because so there's been this document released. I got this off another YouTuber's community post. He released it on there. That's T-Rev, which a lot of you know. And this basically, I think it's important to see it as it is. This is the affidavit with all these new charges. I mean, somebody's playing music outside. Can you believe it? Sounds like they're having a disco outside. Maybe we should go and join in on that. Anyway, yeah, it's just when you see it all written down like this, the length of it, the number of pages, the amount of counts, you just can't get your head around it. And of course, this has happened over a couple of years. These are the ones that they know about. And the only reason they know about these is because they were on his phone, photos on his phone and videos on his phone. How many other times did it happen where it wasn't documented by phone or by photo or by video? That's what's worrying as well. So you can probably multiply these 60 charges by 100. Because it's not only these that he's done over the years, because they were together years. So we don't really know exactly when it all started. All we know is it has definitely been going on for 2 years. So this is the filing, the state of Florida versus Stephan Michael Stearns. this man is going to end up being like the monster of, there's been monsters, even Ted Bundy. It wasn't about children. Ted Bundy did murder one child. He would never talk about it because even he knew, a monster like him, even he knew that killing a child is the most unforgivable offence, or abusing a child. So he didn't, he was with his he was with his girlfriend for years who had a daughter. He never touched her inappropriately. She loved him. There was like no hint of any mistreatment of Liz's daughter. So even Ted Bundy is not as bad as this man. This man is going to go down in history, literally, as probably one of the worst offenders. And of course, it culminated in the worst thing, where Madeleine died, and we still don't know how she died. He hasn't been charged with a murder. We still don't know anything. So let's go through them. It will be upsetting, this, so I'm just telling you now. Sexual battery on a child under 12. That's number 1. Number 2, sexual battery on a child under 12. And this goes on. So right up to number 8 is sexual battery on a child. Then sexual battery with a child 12 to 18 in familial or custodial authority is number 9. And the same for number 10. Number 11, the same. Number 12, the same. 13, the same. 14 is lewd or lascivious. Gosh, I can't even pronounce it. I've forgotten how to pronounce in English. I'm too tired. I've been speaking Spanish all day. Lewd or lascivious molestation. That's number 14. This is page 1 of 36. I just think when you see it like this, am I sharing it? Just let me check. No, I'm not, am I? I'm not sharing it. Come on, Vicky. I think I am now. Yeah. So that's when it gets to number 14. Lewd or lascivious molestation. Now look at the sentences, by the way. So just for that, number 14 is 25-year minimum mandatory life sentence. 25-year minimum mandatory. That's only one of those offences. Anyway, same for number 15, number 16, number 17, number 18, number 19, number 20. Then 21, unlawful possession of materials depicting sexual performance by a child, 10 or more images. Now, who is this child? Do these refer to Madeleine? Or did he have pictures of other children? Or is this material he's got off the web? We don't know, do we? Oh my God, no wonder he accidentally did a factory reset on his phone. Anyways, that's number 21. Same for number 22. Same for number 23. Same for number 24. Same for number 25. Number 26. Number 27. Number 28, I think, is the same. Number 29. Number 30. Number 31. Number 32. So these are all separate offences. So these must be separate materials. Number 33. 34. 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42. So my question is, some of you out there might even know, but are these like separate photos then that he's got? And are these photos of Madeline, or are these photos of other children, as I say, off the web? Or I don't think, hope he's not in, there's not other children involved in this. I doubt it personally very much, but of course I don't know for certain. So carries on. 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. All this same offence: unlawful possession of materials depicting sexual performance by a child, 10 or more images, whatever that means. So how far does this go, this same offence? Yeah, that's it. So those are all those offences after that. Now the thing is, when you right up to 60, so the thing is, when you see them all written down like that and you go through them like that, I think it just really, it's bad enough when you sort of say, oh, he's been charged with 60 offences, but when you see them, you scroll down them like that and you see them written down like that over different pages, it just makes you realise the enormity of this, So I suppose before Stephan Stearns, the most hated man in, well, certainly in America, if not all over the world, was Chris Watts. Now it's Stephen Stearns, or Stephan Stearns. It's just inconceivable, isn't it? But I think it's just seeing it written down like that, because normally you get to hear of things, terrible things that people have done, but when you see it actually there like that, I think it really brings it home. Yeah, and then it goes on to detail some of, I'm not going to read the offences again, because it mentions, what he did with his male part to her female parts and her mouth, and it just awful. So that's the sexual battery, isn't it? I suppose eventually, well, I thought they had this thing, statutory. I suppose, what is statutory rape? What would the difference be? Would that be with consent? Would that be with consent if you... I don't know what the difference is between sort of this sexual battery, but statutory rape is just that they think that a child cannot consent, even if the child has consented. But I don't know what the difference is. So then they go into the details of these counts, don't they? So you've got count 1, count 2, which seem more or less similar. And although they do not name Madeline, it's thought that this is Madeline. A female identified as, and then the name is redacted. And that'll be something to do with not jeopardising the court case, I suppose. And that goes on for each count, going down. Count 6, the same. Count 7. Gosh. And you know what? This man, he has used this girl in any way possible to use somebody. Those counts are graphic and, talk about that he has actually abused her in every way that anyone could abuse. Any way that he could. What a piece of shit. And not only that, kept the photos or videos because he was just so proud of it. He's like a combination of Chris Watts, Ted Bundy, Stuart Hazel. He's every bad person that you've ever heard about, all rolled into one. you know, anyway, it just keeps going on and on. Count 10, count 11, count 12, 13, 14. And on every one they're a female identified as, but then no name in there. Right, so this one is slightly different. So he touched her, he intentionally touched her in a lewd or lascivious manner. And he touched the buttocks of a female. So he's taking a picture of him touching the buttocks of her buttocks. And then this one is his male part touching the clothing, covering the sex organ of a female. Oh, he's took all sorts of pictures, hasn't he? Or touched her upper female parts with his penis. That's count 19. Maybe I'm not allowed to say penis. I don't care at the moment, to be honest. Oh, touching her with his fingers. Now, these are the ones that really sort of confuse me, if you like. I'm sorry I haven't been saying hello to people as they come in. But hello, everybody. Oh, thank you, Heather. Thank you so much, Heather, for the Ko-fi. Let me just put that up. Thank you. I haven't worked out how to do anything sort of spectacular when somebody gives me a Ko-fi donation, but thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Right, somebody's telling me there what, hi Anne, hi Laurie, who's telling me that statutory rapes are non-violent, non-forced, based on below the consent age with 3 years between them, I believe. Yeah. Right, okay. Yeah, I'm not sure of what the details are, because it may be. The thing is, a lot of victims do consent, you know, because they're groomed, aren't they? So they consent in the way that they're groomed. They don't know what they're consenting to, do you know? Like, but it is a form of consent because it's not always a violent act. That's what I'm trying to say. In fact, quite often it isn't, because normally with child abuse, it is grooming happens first, doesn't it? It's not always, you know, suddenly they attack them one night. You know, it takes time. They build their trust. They start treating them like their girlfriend, buying them things like we saw that he was buying her all those things, and sort of, oh my God, you know, you can just imagine how he was grooming her. And sometimes young girls, they're quite impressed by that because they don't know any different. They don't understand that this is a perv like guy, you know, they don't understand that. They can even imagine themselves to be in love with them. You know, it does happen. So, you know, there may have been a consent, if you like, of a kind, but you can't call it, you know, that's the whole point of statutory rape, I think, isn't it? It's like you cannot presume that it's consent because they're not old enough to give a consent, if you like. Oh, I mean, it's a minefield, isn't it? It's a minefield. I think they have got the death penalty at the moment, I think, because they've been saying that he may get the death penalty, even, you know, for this. I mean, it's just blown my mind completely, to be honest. It literally has blown my mind. Thank you, Blind. Thank you so much, Blind B. Thank you for the Ko-fi. Thank you. Gosh, it has blown my mind a bit, this. I think that's what's been getting to me this week. Also with the thing of Samantha's body not being found, and just various things happening in my life, if you like. But I think this has been the worst thing. But I feel like I'm going to follow it through now. you know, you've got to, I've got to follow it through once I've started with it. I just want to see some murder charges, and then I think it'll go quiet then until the actual trial. And then there's the thing about the mother, Jen, you know, I still don't want to believe she was involved, but sometimes mothers are involved, aren't they? Like David said, she's like a prime sort of similarity to Rose West. You know, there are mothers that are not motherly, if you like. So we have to be sensible, I suppose, and understand that it can happen. Okay, now then, let's carry on with this horrible thing. So yeah, now this to me was strange. So count 21 says that he knowingly possessed on the 26th day of February 2000, sometime between the 2nd day of July 2019 and the 26th day of February 2024, he did, in violation of Florida statute, knowingly possess any photograph, motion picture, exhibition, show, representation, image, data, computer depiction, or other presentation, which in whole or in part Stephan Michael Stearns knows to include any sex conduct by a child, and in doing so possess 10 or more images of any form of child pornography. Oh gosh, I'm probably not supposed to say that. Of any form of child P, and the content of at least one image contains one or more of the following. This is very difficult to sort of, it's like word salad, isn't it, really? So let's see. So it contains one or more of the following: a child who is younger than the age of 5. No, I'm not saying that it was a child that was on. It's got to be one or more of the following, but it's not saying which one it is, or even if it might be all of them. But a child who is younger than the age of 5, none of them are good. Sadomasochistic abuse involving a child, sexual battery involving a child, sexual bestiality involving a child, or any movie including a child, regardless of length and regardless of whether the movie contains sound. So what does that mean? Does that mean there was only one image? Because it says at least one image containing one or more of the following. And then it lists those horrendous things. What does that mean? Does anybody know? Can anyone help me out with that? Because I honestly, I'm not sure what that means. Does that mean that there was a child? You know, because people are now saying, oh, you know, it was involving children who were under the age of 5. But does it mean that? Because it says at least one image containing one or more of the following. So it's like it could be all of them, or it could just be one of them. And if it is just one of them, which one is it? They're all horrible. Having said that, but it's confusing and it's horrible. You know, I think horrible, horrible, horrible. So that is count 21. And then I think it goes on, there's more of the same. Count 22 is the same. Count 23 is the same. Count 24. Now notice that in these, it does not mention her name or any name. So it makes you wonder, are these just things he's taken off the internet, off the dark web, or, you know, wherever you find this shite? I don't know where you find it. I just can't believe it's even allowed to be online. So these pictures do not mention her by name, whereas, these offences, these counts do not mention Madeleine, whereas the others said the person identified as such and such, redacted, but, you know, it was her, whereas these don't refer to anyone in particular. So these maybe was just fun that he'd found on the internet and downloaded onto his phone. Same with Count 24, Count 25, the same, Count 26, Count 27, Count 28. You know what this reminds me of? Going through it like this, I think is important, because I think it does make you realize how long this, how bad these offences are and how long they go on for. Because sometimes when you just imagine like 60, until you actually see them all written down like this and go through them one by one, you don't realise just how many that is and how involved that is. And it reminds me of years ago when I went to the Titanic exhibition in Valencia, here in Spain. The Titanic exhibition was there. And right at the end of the exhibition, where it showed you all the things of what had happened and this, that, and the other, you walk around the exhibition, and it finished in this hall where all the names of everybody had died were written on the walls. And it was only really when you saw that and how much space that took up that the scale of how many people had died on the Titanic just hit you. And I remember just sitting there and looking at it, and it was this huge room and all these names written on the wall, and it made me realise like the actual vastness, the scale of how many people had died. And that's how I feel when I'm looking at this. This, as I say, is the only the things that we know about because of what they found on his phone. Who knows, how many other offences, but seeing it like this, it's like a litany, isn't it, of offences, just makes you see the scale of his offending. So Count 29, the same. Count 30, Count 40, Count 41, Count 42, Count 43, Count 44, 45, 36, I've even lost count now, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42. So are these all other images that you just happen to have? 42, 43, God, I can't even count it now. 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. This is going to be the same, is it, all the way down? 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59 and 60. So basically, that started, so the first few counts, yeah. So from 21 onwards, it was the unlawful possession of materials. And they were probably not pictures of Madeleine, because it does not mention her name from then on. Whereas all the ones previous to that, the first 20 counts, said on a minor identified as. So, this guy is, and this guy worked at Disney. This guy worked at Disney. And all the time he was working at Disney, he had all these things on his phone. Now it makes you wonder, did he do something to other children? He was in a prime position to go to the toilets, or we just don't know, do we? So I think this guy is going to be, he is. I don't know what's going to happen to him. He'll never be able to be in the normal prison population unless he's in the prison population with the rest of the nonces or whatever that are in there, the rest of the people that can't be in the prison population. Somebody's going to get this guy. And he knows his life is over. He's like, that's why he's not even appearing in court now. So when he's when he was supposed to go and hear the charges against him, he didn't turn up, didn't go to court. There will come a time when he's got to go to court. He won't have a choice. But so far, he's had the choice not to turn up at court. So I don't know if when are the murder charges coming? And when are they coming? Are they going to be just against him? Or are they going to be both against him and against the mother as well? This is all what we're waiting for, isn't it, at the moment? To see, what are the charges going to be? I mean, I'm sort of a bit speechless again with it all because it's just so awful. No, Simon, there's not a 5-year-old mentioned in the affidavit. That's what I've just been through. You have to rewind. That's an old-fashioned word, isn't it? You'll have to look back. There is not a specific 5-year-old mentioned. You have to look back and see what it says on the affidavit. It's not a 5-year-old. Not specifically a 5-year-old. It's a bit confusing. Now, I heard today that Jen, on another channel, a reputable channel who has good sources, was saying that the mother is in some mental institution. Has anybody heard that? It's okay, Simon, don't worry. Just so when you see, you'll see what I mean. Was saying that she is, she's left obviously the property. She was with her sister, and she may be in some kind of mental institution at the moment. So is she going to claim like a mental health? I mean, she has got some issues because even his friend said she was very heavily sedated a lot of the time, which may explain why she does, on that Monday morning, didn't the grandma say, the video that we watched of the grandma said that she'd woken up that morning, not the grandma, but the mother, had woken up that morning really tired. So she asked the guy, Stephan, to take her to school. Is that a possibility that she was that spaced out, that she really does not remember what happened? And so it's been easy for him to be suggestible, and sort of say, well, don't you remember? You saw her getting ready and I took her to school. Has it been easy for him to be suggestible like that to her because of the medication she's on? It seems like she is on some quite heavy medication. So that's possible. Anyway. Yeah, she did hold down her job, Simon. They're saying now that she was an event planner or something for Disney, which originally I thought she was working in a care home. I'm sure somebody said that right in the beginning. But, people do say things and you hear all sorts of rumours. Until we get official confirmation of things, we don't know what the truth exactly is. There's rumours, that they were together, then they split up. Oh, and then somebody was saying today that just before Christmas, he moved out of their house and went to live with his parents, to look after his parents. And why they needed looking after, I don't know. But again, you've got to be careful what's speculation and what isn't. So we don't know. And then there was another YouTube channel. I don't think I'm going to mention the YouTube channel because I don't think this. I was thinking of sort of showing some of the video, but some of you will know what it is. But somebody who takes calls on their YouTube channel, I don't know how to take calls. I wouldn't mind taking calls. I'd be quite happy to take calls, but I don't really know how to do it. But somebody had rang in and said that they had been also a victim of abuse from Stephan Stern. And, you know, they started coming out with all this story. And some of the things in the beginning sounded quite plausible, you know, talking about child P rings and this, that, and the other. But as it carried on, very sadly, it did seem to me that that person has got some serious mental health issues, because some of the things they were saying, they were impossible. For a start, they said they were 35 and Stephan Stearns is only 39. So I don't see how Stephan Stearns could have abused him because there's only 4 years difference between them in ages. He was also saying some other things, which is anybody on here who knows? Because did you hear about it, Desi? Is that you can't. I listened to it. I listened to most of the phone call, and it's impossible. What the guy's saying is impossible. So you've got to presume that he's just somebody a little bit poorly in the head. And was really, he sounded. I mean, God, he sounded really plausible. He sounded like he really believed it. But you know, some people do really believe it. But one thing that's certainly impossible is that Stephan Stearns cannot have abused him because he was only 4 years older than him. You know, so it's just impossible. But very strange. Yeah, Amethyst, did you? It was all made up, wasn't it? But he believed it. I do think he believed it. And at one point, the interviewer said to him, "Well, how did you escape?" Because he said he was in this child P ring, you know, that was Stephen Stern was a part of, and the mother as well, and the mother was a part of it. And the mother knows all about it. This guy was saying he's spoken to her on the phone, he says, and she's admitted that she knows about it. And when the interviewer dealt with him brilliantly, because he never, you know, he just let him talk, but he kept putting up like provisos, like, look, just listen, you make your mind up. And this particular YouTuber, he always says that everything on his channel is just allegedly. Nothing is, you know, you must make your own mind up. And that's how it is. There's a lot of conjecture over social media. You know, I try and just look at evidence and not look at, you know, with the best will in the world. People say a lot of things, and even psychics and things like that, which I do believe in. I have a lot of respect for a lot of psychics, but the police cannot deal with that evidence, can they? They cannot take the evidence of a psychic to court. So, you know, I try and steer away from it only for that reason, not because I don't believe it or whatever, but just because it can't prove anything, you know. So anyway, this interviewer, he did deal really well with it. I thought he let the guy talk. He never sort of made him feel stupid when he did say some, not stupid things, that's probably the wrong thing to say, but some unbelievable things, because he said to it, oh, what did he say? He said, how did you escape? And he said he prayed and an angel came down, and that's how he escaped, you know. So there was a few things like that, and I won't go into any details, but it was interesting to read. It was it was interesting to listen to. Yeah, it can't be true. It just, well, it was impossible, to be honest. Because the other thing he did say as well, that he'd been killed and come back to life, and his father had died and come back to life. He said a lot of things that were impossible. So you can't believe it. Then that makes you cast a doubt on everything that he said. But the main thing for me was when he said he was 35 years old, and Stephan Stearns is 37 or 38 or whatever. So it's impossible. You know, unless Stephan was only 2 when he was abusing him, you know, it's like crazy. So that couldn't. Yeah, did Desi? He said, yeah, but he can't. Well, she's only 39. You know, it's like it's not possible. He's 35 years old, the guy. I think he was just. I think he believes it. I just think he's a very misguided person. It's quite worrying, really, that somebody could genuinely believe all that. You know, it's like, you know, if you start talking about abuse, you can't say that someone who's only 4 years older than you abused you when you were a child, you know, or was part of a P ring, and just, you know, he's misguided the guy. It's a shame. It's a shame. I think Simon, Stephan Stearns is 37, I think, and she's 39, or there's a couple of years difference between them, isn't it? Yeah, the guy, he had some problems. He had some, you know, he believed it. He definitely believed it. That's 100% when he spoke. That's why. So the interviewer let him talk on, and some of the things, you know, you thought, oh my God, you know, if that's true, that's terrible. But then when you sort of sat and thought about, as I say, his age, etc. Yeah. Well, the thing is, Jean, he said he was taken at 18 years old. That's right. Now, if he was 18, so I suppose Stephan Stearns would be 22 then. But then he wasn't with Jen then, was he? So, you know, it's all just a bit strange, I think. But, you know, sometimes people do, vulnerable adults do, you know, so not, this is the problem. It's proving it, isn't it? Yes, some young adults do get kidnapped. That's right. Of course they do. There are bad things that happen to people. But, you know, you would have to listen to it to understand what I mean. I listened to it. I listened to a good maybe 45 minutes, half an hour, 45 minutes. And that until I realised that this just couldn't make sense. You'd have to listen to it. And, you know, when somebody says that they, you know, he were, you know, died and came back to life, and so did his dad, and they were, you know, there were some crazy things that he said. I'm sorry, but there were. So, I mean, and the phoning of Jen, yeah. Well, you know, I sort of can show it, but I could show it under the fair use. But I'll tell you why I won't show it, because it was the topic. It was taken off YouTube a few times because it was a live like phone in, and a couple of times the stream was stopped. Now that will have been, you know, people are saying, oh, the stream's been stopped because YouTube's taking it off because he's telling the truth. It wasn't because of that. It'd be because of the words that were being used. You know, YouTube does stop streams. You know, you have got to be, people sometimes don't believe what YouTubers say when they say, you've got to be careful of saying, you know, you know, I don't want to say anything just in case. You know, you've got to be careful of saying like the P word, or, you know, and you really do, because if YouTube pick up on it, you know, it's their bots that pick up on it, or somebody could report it. Suppose somebody might report it, then the bots start on it. And if they pick up not just one word, if somebody said it just once or a couple of times, interspace, you know, they're not going to, but if there's a lot of it all concentrated at once, a lot of those similar kinds of words, the bots will pick up on it, and they just stop your stream just like that. So he had to, hi Misty, have you got your notifications on? Make sure you've got your notification bell pressed for all notifications. Yeah, so if you hear those, you know, if there's like you know, if he's mentioning certain words over and over again in a sort of a concentrated space of time, YouTube would definitely pick up on it and what they do is, see, they halt the stream so that they can have a closer look at it. So they're not necessarily that you'll never, that's, I think, what this guy has had to do, release it in smaller parts, because YouTube you won't get struck off for it or anything like that. God, I don't know what you have to do to get struck, a video actually taken down on YouTube. It'd have to be something really serious. But what they do is they halt the live stream because something's flagged up on it. So they halt the live stream, they have a little check of it with their little, robots or whatever they do it with. And if it's then turns out to be okay, or they'll get a human review of it and then they'll re-release it again. But it's just that something somewhere in the YouTube ether, and obviously it's probably got more sophisticated as years have gone by. There's probably a time when they couldn't pick up anything, but now they're so much more sophisticated they can pick up on and I read that they pick up on clusters of words. So it's not just one word. As I say, you could mention a word that, the P word, and it wouldn't get picked up on. But if you're talking about it a lot and it's in a cluster with other words that might be the same word or might also refer to XEX with a child, then that's what it will pick up on, the cluster of those words. Anyway, hi, Jackie. Yeah. I do think that YouTube, it's their priorities, isn't it? That they've got to be careful. I don't know what their priorities are. Their priority is making money. Their priority is probably not saving lives. Because, to be honest, the ones that as well upset me are the ones that they have there's a lot of channels about self-deletion. A lot of young people can go on these channels that tell them how to do it. Teenagers telling them how to do it, the best way to do it. Things like, why hasn't YouTube picked up on those kind of things as well? There's a lot of things that they haven't picked up on. So you think, what is it? They're only worried about being sued. Let's put it that way, because they have been sued, haven't they? And it started to be a problem with something that happened, and then they're really careful after that. But they don't seem to bother about these. They don't like the word, the big S. They don't like you saying the word, but these channels that show people actually how to do it seem to get around it somehow. How do they get around it? I don't know. But actually showing young people how to do it. So that's a very, and it's not only YouTube, that's Instagram and things like that as well. Oh, and I just wanted to say, did you hear that, of course, TikTok might be banned in America? They're trying desperately to ban TikTok because TikTok is Chinese owned. So YouTube is American owned, so they won't be trying to ban YouTube. And it just, now they're trying to ban TikTok desperately because it's Chinese owned. And I've often said to you, haven't I, why are they always talking about TikTok sleuths and TikTok ghouls? The mainstream media makes a big thing about TikTok, but it's because it's owned by China. They don't really make a big thing about YouTube. Anyway, hi, Heather. I think I've said hello to Heather because Heather's saying hello to other people. Have you all left your DNA? Yeah. Yeah, they want to ban TikTok or transfer it to US ownership. That's what they're trying to do at the moment. So, yeah, sorry, I'm laughing about the Chinese. You know what does make me laugh is those spy balloons. Those spy balloons what they think are spy balloons, because they're not exactly inconspicuous, are they? You think the Chinese, surely they'd have something a bit more sophisticated than a great big white balloon flying over us. It's like, oh gosh, what's that? Oh, what? I didn't see that great big white balloon. It's like it's not exactly, there was a big fuss about them not long ago, wasn't there? And apparently another one's been seen over in Alaska somewhere. But you just think surely they'd be able to think of something a bit more sophisticated than that. Oh dear. Anyway. Right. Okay. So I'm sorry that was so depressing, but I just thought it was important that we see, just how foul this man is, really. I mean, this guy is, he's never coming out of prison, whatever happens. So I think the thing is, the reason why they haven't charged him yet is, well, they don't need to. There's no rush. He's got that great big massive litany of counts against him. He's not coming out of prison. So they've got all the time in the world to get their case prepared properly. They don't have to rush it. They don't have to rush into anything. The guy is going nowhere. And he's not getting bail. I don't think he's probably not even applied for bail or whatever. What will he want bail for? He'd get murdered as soon as he got out on bail. Somebody'd kill him, wouldn't they? Because he's like, everybody hates him so much. So he wants to stay in prison in his solitary confinement, or with the other twonks, the other people that can't be in normal prison life. He wants to be there. He probably feels more safe there than anywhere at the moment, because there's never be a safe place for that guy again. So in a way, he's already serving his sentence, isn't he? He's, whatever he did to Madeline and why he did it, he's wrecked his own life too. He wrecked it, and you can see that in his eyes. He's got the eyes of a man who knows he's damned and going to hell, in my eyes. From what I see of him, he knows. They probably have to, he must be on self-deletion watch, because what has he got to live for now? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Okay, so what I want to look at now, let me just see. I know I've got some other things. So this is something that I'm going to look at tomorrow in the morning about Samantha Murphy. But I just wanted to show you what's happened, because nearby to where Samantha is being searched for, apparently this mine shaft has collapsed. So let's just have a look at this. It's quite dramatic. And I don't think it's connected, but it just makes you wonder, doesn't it? It does seem coincidental, but maybe it just is coincidental. Let's have a look. So this is 9 News Australia.
Stories coming up, but let's get straight to that breaking news as we come on air, with the rescue mission underway to free a miner trapped hundreds of metres underground in Victoria.
Our Today team in Melbourne is live at that mine and the Alfred Hospital. Let's start with Christina Hearn in Ballarat. Chris, we still don't know the trapped miner's current condition.
That's right.
So we're back to Ballarat. I mean, it's like, gosh, I'd never heard, to be perfectly honest, I'd never ever heard of Ballarat before the Samantha Murphy case, not being brilliant at geography and knowing very little about Australia, but obviously I knew like the big cities like Melbourne and Sydney, etc. But I'd never heard of Ballarat, and now suddenly everything's about Ballarat, isn't it? Or it feels that way.
Right, Sarah, we don't know the condition of that trapped miner, but what I can tell you is as we go to air, he remains trapped here at the Ballarat gold mine. He is located about 500 metres underground and about 3 kilometres from the mine.
Look, so remember, it was the Mount Clear area that the police narrowed down for where they were going to search. Do you remember when we had the press conference and the police said they were going to search the Mount Clear area? And it's near, though, it's 3 kilometres from that area. So is it a coincidence, or is there any connection? Probably not, but it's interesting all the same.
Mine entrance. This, of course, all unfolded at about 4:50 yesterday afternoon. The second miner that was injured, he was transported to hospital. But what we also know is that there were actually 29 other miners underground at the time of this rock fall. They were transferred to a
29 miners. So it was a rock fall. So one guy's been taken to hospital, but there's a guy still trapped down there. Oh my God, that's my worst nightmare come true. I mean, how claustrophobic.
safety pod and safely extracted. They were seen by paramedics, and thankfully none of them sustained any injuries. But the fate of this trapped miner is unknown. Let's hear from Victoria's Police speaking here at the mine late last night.
And work is underway to safely access that patient.
So do we remember this lady? So this was the lady. This was the other reason why I wanted to show it you. This is Lisa McDougall, and she was the first police lady who came out, you know, when Mick and Jess did their press conference. And this lady came out with them, and she came over very professional and empathetic then, and she does here too as well. So yeah, she's speaking up. She must be thinking, bloody hell, you know, she's probably, has she been on the TV before? Now suddenly she's got all these high profile cases to deal with.
To assess the condition of that person. Look, we had approximately 30 emergency services members involved in the rescue at this point in time.
The inspector said the family of the trapped miner is understandably extremely distressed, and they are being supported by Victoria Police. But Carl and Sarah, this certainly becomes a race against time to free this trapped miner.
That's for sure. Terrible for the family. Chris, thank you. Let's go to Isabella Stashkovsky at the Alfred. Now, that freed miner is suffering from significant injuries.
Yeah, that's certainly right, Carl. Good morning to you. We know that an ambulance aircraft went to the scene pretty late last night. It was around 7 o'clock that person was extricated and then brought here to the Alfred. Quite a long trip to come back towards the CBD. We know that the teams here have been working hard. That person has been suffering from some significant lower body injuries and, of course, in a critical condition this morning. So a huge road ahead. Of course, our thoughts are with his family this morning, Carl.
It doesn't sound very positive for the one that they've rescued, does it? You know, if he was buried under all that thing, you know, under all that. Hi, Wesley. Yeah, they could do with Peter Foulding there, couldn't they? You know, the human mole, he's good at going down potholes and things, apparently. Well, he's good at everything, isn't he? That's what we're going to talk about tomorrow. In the Members Live tomorrow night, we're going to have a little chat about Peter. Nothing horrible or anything, just a little bit of teasing, but you'll see anyway tomorrow. I would never say anything horrible about him, but yeah, the human mold, maybe they could do with the Peter Foulding there, but yeah, so it doesn't look too good, unfortunately, even for the one that's been rescued already, and the one that's still down there. I think, you know, I'll be saying a few prayers for him and his family tonight, because it doesn't look very good. But it just seems like, gosh, what's going on? You know, it's like one thing after another in Ballarat at the moment.
Is it? Thank you.
Also breaking overnight, a man has been killed in a collision between his car and a train near a rail.
So that was something I wanted to show you. What else did I want to show you? Yeah, and funnily enough, a mineshaft expert, there was another video I was going to show you about a mineshaft expert before that mine collapsed. Let's have a look what he had to say. This is before the mine collapsed. So the search for Samantha Murphy leads mineshaft explorer Raymond Shaw into Ballarat's dark places. Now, I think we have seen him before. I think we have looked at him before, you know, in the early days of Samantha's search. Let's have a look.
And I'm hanging over the collar by a single rope technique. So I've got about 5 or 6 to check that are very nearby. So this one's only about 10 meters or so. You can see it's all choked up down the bottom. There's my feet. I'm going to go back up and we'll go to the next one.
I think we did see that video before, didn't we? Let's have a look again. See, these are the mine shafts. The mine shaft where the people, the 2 men were trapped, they're different, not these kind of mine shafts. I mean, they're proper mine shafts, if you like. They're active mine shafts that are still being used. So there probably isn't any connection with Samantha Murphy, because I don't think the guy could have got in there to hide her there. But not far from there, there's other mine shafts, these kind of mine shafts. And I suppose these are the ones.
Now I'm hanging over the collar by a single rope technique. So I've got about 5 or 6 to check that are very nearby. So this one's only about 10 meters or so. You can see it's all choked up down the bottom.
Yeah.
There's my feet. I'm going to go back up and we'll go to the next one.
Yeah, so he's been going and looking down all these mine shafts with his technique. And he says he's explored about 60 disused mine shafts since Samantha Murphy went missing. And he says his fascination with disused mines began when he was a child. Well, that reminds me a bit of Peter Folding, because didn't Peter Folding, he started potholing, didn't he, when he was a child? So, you know, maybe he knows him, you know, maybe because they sound like they're both experts or interested in the same thing. So Raymond Shaw has always been fascinated by mine shafts. He describes exploring the disused underground holes and tunnels as a hobby gone wild, having recorded the locations of around 75,000 across Victoria in a decade. And for the past 5.5 weeks, Mr. Shaw, widely known as Raymo, has been putting his unique skills to use as part of the wide-scale community search for Ballarat woman Samantha Murphy. So he's a little bit like a private searcher, like Peter Folding. You know, I don't know if he's offering his services free or if he's been paid for that or what. I don't know. But while emergency services personnel and community searchers have been scouring bushland for any sign of Miss Murphy, Mr. Shaw has been donning his overalls, helmet and harness to search for what may lay underground. So there are said to be thousands of disused mine shafts around the Ballarat area. I mean, look at this. Are these all mine shafts? Goodness me. So this is Mount Clear. This is where the police were focusing their search the last time, remember? They seem to think that whatever happened to Samantha happened here in Mount Clear, and all these mine shafts. Goodness. You know, so each orange and yellow dot represents known mining activity in the Ballarat area. There's loads. How are they going to search all those? My God, no wonder it's taken a long time to find Samantha. I mean, she could well be in one of those, but how long is it going to take them to get through all those? So experts say it is entirely feasible. Illegal mining activity once took place in Ballarat, given its prominent role in the gold rush, making it impossible to now know the location of every shaft. And Mr. Shaw said that he had located at least 100 mine shafts during his searches in Ballarat bushland during the past 5 weeks, and he had been down about 60. And look at them, because, you know, you go down these very, you know, closed, very narrow sort of shafts down to the bottom, but this is how they are inside, because of course then they've been dug out over centuries, I suppose, by locals, and you've got these these tunnels, you know, and could Samantha be in one of these? You know, and that dream I had about Samantha, she was sort of propped up almost against a wall. She wasn't lying down, she was almost sitting up. But there was bush foliage and that, so I don't know. But yeah, I mean, it's entirely possible that she's in one of these, isn't it? So he said, I found a lot of mine shafts that are open in between roads and people's fences. They're not always blocked or pushed in. There are too many. It's overwhelming what we've seen. So what if, you know, like they put Samantha down a mine shaft, then put a load of earth on the top? You know, it's virtually impossible, isn't it, to find somebody in these mine shafts? Oh God, I hope they do find her. I hope they find her. That twonky's got to start saying where she is. It's just not fair to her family. It's not fair. So he said he was particularly interested in locating and exploring shafts authorities didn't know about. He said he usually went into the bush in his four-wheel drive, searched on foot, and then set up to abseil in. And he said, we will go down to the bottom if oxygen levels are adequate and see if there is anything down there. So it's possible that she is down one of those. So he said he usually went to the bush in his four-wheel drive, searched on foot, and then set up to abseil in. Yeah, we'll go down to the bottom if oxygen levels are adequate and see if there's anything down there. He said he used a single rope technique with a hand and chest ascenders to climb back up the rope with his wife as a spotter close by. Oh God, yeah, you won't go down there on your own, because what if you couldn't get up for whatever reason? You need somebody there. He said it can take us 6 months in one area, or it could be a year that we're going back for. He said it's very involved. Gosh. So Victoria Police previously said its crews would continue to search for Miss Murphy, whose body has not yet been found, and that any evidence that could assist in the case, but they would not confirm whether or not mine shafts form part of the search for Miss Murphy. And also Victoria Police said it would not be commenting on the ongoing search or other details as the matter was before the courts. Mr. Shaw said he planned to continue searching mine shafts in Ballarat for items of interest. Well, good for him. Good for him, because it seems to be his obsession. He's fascinated with them since he was 8 years old. There he is. It does remind you of Peter Falding, isn't it? The pictures on his SGI page, the human mole. It really, really reminds me of Peter Falding. So, you know, it's good that somebody does that, because maybe he will find something. It's brilliant, that, isn't it? He's got his torch and he's got... I'm pointing at the screen here as if you can even see me pointing at the screen. But on that picture of him, you know, he's got his lamp at the front there, his torch on the side here, and then he's got his camera and everything. I mean, he's brilliant. He's all set up. He's got a good bit of kit, He just needs some sonar imaging and he'll be set. So apparently his great-great-grandfather worked as a gold miner, and he said he remembered watching in awe while a man panned for gold by a creek when he was young. It excited me, he said. I have this thing for going underground and looking for things. Oh, he's like Peter Falding's brother from another mother, isn't he, really? He's like, you know, they'd get on like a house on fire, wouldn't they? When I was a kid, my cousins and friends would dare me to go into wombat holes. Oh, I've been watching, you know, I watched this, that wombat Facebook page. I've had my heart broken today. I've been crying all day because they'd found this very old wombat that was in a really bad way, and tried to save her. Anyway, unfortunately, she did pass away today. So I've just been absolutely heartbroken, because But at least for the last, week of her life or whatever, she got really treated nicely and lots of love and affection and everything, because she was in such a bad way. And it looked like she was getting better, and then she just died, But they don't know how old she was, so I suppose she could have been a really old wombat. I don't know, but I've been following, the story of how she was getting better and everything. And anyway, it was heartbreaking today, because it was heartbreaking for me, and I wasn't even looking after her. God knows how those rescuing animals is a lovely thing that people do, but you're living with heartbreak all the time. So the woman who had tried to rescue her, and somebody else had rescued her, took this wombat to this lady who looks after wombats, and she'd been sort of, treating her, and she had a lot of medical issues and what have you, but she did seem like she was getting better anyway. So I've been hysterical, crying all day because of that, but that hasn't helped with my mood this week. That poor little wombat. But anyway, it got some love and affection and some caring in the last few days of its life, thank goodness. So when I was a kid, my cousins and friends would dare me to go into wombat holes. It's like something that I like to do, going underground into caves, gold mines and drains. I mean, it does sound exciting, but you won't get me down there. No way. I'd be much too claustrophobic. But I really do think him and Mr. Folding, they are brothers from another mother, definitely. So he said some of his underground experiences included rescuing wildlife and being called to investigate shafts on private property. Wonder if he's ever found a body down a mine shaft. I'm sure he would have said there if he ever had found a body down a mine shaft. But anyway, so he also runs the Victorian Historical Mine Shaft Chasers Group. So yeah, very interesting. Yeah, Kelly, she had care in her final moments that I'd show it you, but it'd upset you, because when she was taken into the wombat sanctuary, she was in such a bad way. They didn't hold out any hope for her. I mean, she really was. I won't even tell you the state she was in, because it'll upset you. But I think what is more upsetting now is she really did look like, she was getting better, and she was she was unrecognisable from when she first went into this wombat rescue centre. They'd done so well with her that I've been following it. Not only me, there's like thousands of people been following her story. And unfortunately, she just didn't make it. But yeah, she, at least in her last 2 weeks of her life, she was treated really well, and she had everything she wanted. She used to go looking for affection from them, so she knew she was being looked after. She wasn't, even though she was brought in from the wild, she wasn't scared. She wasn't feral, she wasn't like biting them. She liked them sort of massaging her, and they had to put Sudocrem on her because she had terrible sores and everything. And, it was quite distressing at first when when they first started showing her. I was finding it difficult to even look at the videos because it was so distressing, the state she was in. But then she started to get so much better. So she did. She had a lovely last couple of weeks of her life, and you just got to concentrate on that. But I really feel for the the people, the handlers, because they've got to live with that loss now. And I think if she would have died within the first couple of days of being brought into the sanctuary, I don't think, it was what was expected, so it wouldn't have been so traumatic. But I think it's because, she's gone on this long, and she looked like she was getting better. And anyway, just didn't happen. So, okay, so that is Mr. Shaw, the Minecraft expert. What else did I want to show you? Was there anything else? That might be it, because some of that I was actually going to do the Samantha Murphy thinks I was actually going to do tomorrow, but I don't think I've got anything else to show you. Oh yeah, I wanted to show you something nice. So there's a couple of things that I want to show you. I wanted to show you this video of Riley. I know a lot of you really like Riley, my dog, my white dog. And what you don't know about Riley is he's a shoe thief. So as soon as you take your shoes off, I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but he's got like a shoe fetish. So if you're not looking, you know, as soon as if you take your flip flops off, or you take your shoe off, or your slipper off, or whatever, he picks it off, picks it up, and off he goes with it. And sometimes, like in the summer, he takes it right up to the, because you know my house is like a townhouse. You know, it's on different, it's sort of narrow but tall. It goes up. It's on a lot of floors. And the roof terrace is right up at the top, you know, up 2 flights of stairs. He takes it right up there, so you have to go all the way up there to get it. So you know, sometimes he does that, but he just loves shoes. Or sometimes he just puts it in his where he sleeps, curls up with it. It must be the smell of it, I suppose. He must like the smell of it. And I just wanted to I'm going to show you a video of him stealing my shoes. But first of all, actually, I'm just going to get a drink, so I won't be a sec. So just talk between yourselves for a minute. Hello, baby. Hello, hello. My dogs are crashed out at the moment, so they're just asleep. Riley's not even come up to say hello, has he? Normally comes up to try and get on camera, but he hasn't really done it today. Okay, so let's have a look. I'm going to share this then. Hi, Rachel. Hi. Oh, I didn't see that. Mello, thank you. So Mello's gifted a membership. Thank you so much, Mello. I'm not sure when he did that. He might have done it ages ago. It probably was ages ago, and I've only just seen it. Does anybody know who won the membership? Let's have a look. I can find out, I think. Maybe somebody knows. Let's see who won the membership. I don't think Jim's here, otherwise it might have been Jim, because he was fishing for another membership once. But I don't think he's here tonight, so let's have a look. Probably by the time I found out who it was, somebody probably told me. Blank faces. Okay, brilliant, brilliant. Well, because it's members tomorrow, and I've got quite a lot of new members to welcome tomorrow. So we'll be welcoming Blank Faces as a member as well. Thank you. So thank you, Mello, for that. Very kind. Right, okay, let's go back to Riley, the shoe thief. So I took this video about a year ago. It's a very, very, very short video, just showing him stealing my shoes. So what happens is when I go to bed, soon as I take my shoes off and put the shoes by the side of the bed, he's here. Oh, he's heard me talking about him. He's here now. Oh, you can't get on the camera tonight because I'm not on the camera tonight. Oh, he's heard me talking about him and he's come round to say hello. So yeah, as soon as I take my shoes off, you see him come trotting round the corner to steal them. So here you go. I've obviously taken my sandals off and here he came. Now, I just want to warn you, there's some music on this and it might be quite loud. In fact, I'll turn it down a bit. I don't want to frighten you all to death. Oh, hang on, I'm going to sneeze. Oh, bless me, bless me. Okay, let's have a look. Riley, we're going to look at you on the video. Yeah, we're going to look at you on the video. Off he goes. Whoop. Now, the thing is, if the bedroom door was open, it'd be off out with it, taking it up on the roof. But you can't do it when the door's shut, so just picks it up and takes it to wherever he's decided he's going to sleep. Let's go back to the beginning. No, he doesn't chew him, Bridget. He just takes them. And then you find him, like, he'll come back. Sometimes he just takes one. He always takes. What are you doing? I don't know what he's doing there. He always takes one, always, without fail, unless he's really, really tired. And when we go to bed, he'll just crash out. But that's very rare, very rare. He will always take one. I think it's a comfort thing. Sometimes he takes both of them. So you can imagine it, you wake up in the middle of the night, especially in the winter. It's not so bad in the summer because the floors feel warm, you know, because it's hot anyway. But all the floors are tiled. So in the winter, they're freezing. And I'm like, those are sandals. That must have been an afternoon nap I was having. Because normally it's just flip-flops that I wear around the house. So there'll be my flip-flops just to wear around the house, just so my feet aren't cold on the tile floor. So it's freezing cold. The tile floor's freezing. I've got no shoes to put on. Or I've only got one flip-flop to put on. So then it's hunt the flip-flop. So it would be entangled in the bed somewhere, or entangled in his bed somewhere, or under the bed. Or, you just don't want that when you wake up in the middle of the night to go to the loo or whatever. You just want to just do it and go back to bed, don't you? And instead, I've got freezing cold feet. I've got to search for my shoes. And they're always bringing me an empty bag of biscuits. Oh. He's so funny because he knows I'm talking about him, so he's coming up to say hello. But I'll show you one more time. So that's him. He's the shoe thief, or el ladrón de zapatos. Yeah, the thief of shoes. Oh, I've not liked that video, actually. I'm going to like it. He always gets them, on my Spanish channel. This is my Spanish YouTube channel. I don't get half as many views. I've got quite a lot of subscribers on there, but I don't get I don't know. I just don't get loads of views on it. Some videos do. Some get more than others. But whenever I put Riley on there, I always get loads of views. And so he's got 420 views he's had. I don't get that for most of the videos that I do about Spanish classes. So obviously the more people are more interested in Riley than my Spanish classes. Well, never mind. Okay. So I wanted to show you that. I thought that might cheer you up a little bit. Oh, I'm going to have lost my comments now. Oh, I can't find my comments. Oh, it's okay. I've got them there. Hi, Caroline. Hi, Mariah. Okay, so I can't find my comments up on the main computer, but never mind. So the other thing I wanted to show, so thanks again, Mello, for that. Thanks for Blank Faces, giving Blank Faces oh, they are, that's where I go, for giving Blank Faces a membership. Okay, now, the other thing I wanted to show you before I finish, because it's, you know, it's tough watching what we've been watching. Hi, Katrina. You know, it's very tough watching what we've been watching. So I wanted to show you that to cheer you up a bit. And then something to help you sleep. Now, when I can't sleep, which is not very often, but every now and again, it's horrible, isn't it, when you can't sleep? There's nothing worse, because all your worries, all your preoccupations, they're always worse in the middle of the night, you know. And once you start thinking about things, it's like you just can't turn your brain off, and it's that horrible sort of time in the middle of the morning, maybe 3 o'clock in the morning or whatever. You can't message anyone because everyone's asleep. You know, it's just a horrible, horrible feeling. So I wanted to, this is what I do when I can't sleep. This is my YouTube channel that I go to. Have a good night's sleep with Sleep Cove. So he's got a podcast and he's a YouTube channel. And they're like, oh, there he is. Oh, I've never seen his face, you know. But ever since COVID, I found this website or this YouTube channel during COVID, because there was many times during COVID, so many worries during COVID, you know, particularly about money and that, because I couldn't work. You know, I wasn't doing internet classes then. I was doing face-to-face classes, and then suddenly just, you know, you couldn't do any classes. And I found this website. I don't know how I found it, but I'm so grateful. This YouTube channel. I'm so grateful that I found it. And it's this guy, Christopher Fitton. I've never, ever seen his face before. I've literally never seen that picture before. And he's a hypnotherapist. I didn't know that either. I thought they were just sleepy stories. You know, sometimes it's just you start listening to somebody talking on a podcast and it makes you fall asleep. But it is actually hypnotherapy that he does. And so I think probably during COVID, he got really popular, obviously, and he set up the Sleep Cove podcast to help whoever needs some extra help to sleep. But I don't listen to the podcast, actually. It's the let me see if I can find, I need to find his YouTube, because that's what I listen, that's what I go on. And I'll tell you what, I have never got to the end of one of his videos. You know, I've never got to the end of one. I've always been asleep before. This is one. Fall asleep fast. This is the one. I nearly always listen to the same one. But there are stories as well. But this fall asleep fast guided meditation is brilliant. It's brilliant. Let's have a little listen to him. He's just got one of those voices. And so he has a disclaimer first, you know, don't listen only when you're in a location where you can safely sleep. Don't listen to it while you're driving. Well, you wouldn't want to fall asleep while you were driving. God, sometimes when you're on a long drive, it's like you're trying to stay awake, isn't it? I've had to do that before. But you can see, so the sleep hypnosis for anxiety and depression, Sleep and Leave Anxiety Behind, Peaceful Dreams. And then there's some bedtime stories. So there's Little Women, there's some Poirot stories. There's all sorts of different things on there. I tend to listen to one of these sleep hypnosis for peaceful dreams, and I've never got to the end of a video yet. Either, you know, everything's churning around in my head, and then suddenly let's begin. I could fall asleep just hearing him say that. Yeah, it makes me sleepy just listening to that little bit. Very good. So I would recommend it, Sleep Coach, to anyone who can't sleep. If you're having a problem sleeping, you just put that on, and honest to God, it works for me. It works for me. You've got to find something that works for you. But there's loads of different ones on YouTube, loads and loads and loads. But I've just found that this one works for me, his voice. There's some of them I listen to and their voice gets on my nerves, you know, and so I can't fall asleep because the voice is irritating. Yeah. I don't know the honest guys, Amethyst. Oh, thank you, Katrina. That's kind. Thank you so much. So Katrina sent me a super chat. Thank you, Katrina. Listen, is that so tonight, Katrina? If you can't sleep, get that sleep cove on. Get Christopher Fitton on. Honestly, well, it works for me. That's all I can say. I think there was sound, Bridget. Sometimes, you know, there's a couple of people lately have said to me, because I think Mello said it the other day, well, there's no sound, but there was sound. And then David said it today. So I think it's a YouTube thing, because I think could other people hear his voice then when that video? Oh, no, other people are saying it. Let me just put it on again then. Put it on again. I did have it on, didn't I? It should have been on. Let's try one more time. Unless I had the sound turned down. I might have had the sound turned down.
Hello and welcome to Sleep Cove,
No?
the podcast and YouTube channel to get a great night's sleep.
So can
This
you hear
episode
now?
is a sleep meditation
The sound is
designed
turned up.
to help you go to sleep fast. Please do not listen
Oh, you've
whilst
got it
driving
turned up
or
now.
operating
Hear it
heavy
now.
machinery.
I've
Please
not done
listen in a
anything
place
different.
where you can safely go to sleep. And let's begin.
Now, I know sometimes I do cock-ups, but do you know what? I didn't do anything different there from what I did the first place, because you could see the video but not hear it. But lately there seems to have been some problems with the sound on YouTube. But you can see, if you can see this, the sound's turned up. It's exactly the same as it was when I played it before. So I'm not quite sure why you couldn't hear it before.
You are about to experience and go into a deep sleep.
He has got one of those
whilst listening
voices
to this
that makes you want to go sleep.
guided meditation.
And of course, the lovely sort of, well, you don't look at
This will
it, so I
help
just
you
put it on the bedside table.
just switch off
And the next
and
thing,
fall
I'm
asleep
waking up in
faster.
the morning. You know, I honestly, it works for me every single time. I've never had one time where it hasn't worked. You know, it's Heather's dropping off already. Just listening. No, but he does. He was getting me like that as well. You know, so he does. He's got a velvet voice. Yeah, you're right. You're right, Bridget. He's got that lovely voice. So the thing is, you don't really want to listen to something that because sometimes if I start listening to something that I want to listen to and that sends me asleep, and then I forget where I was up to, you know, if I'm listening to a series or something, or a video, you know, a true crime, I quite often listen to like true crime videos, like that chapter, you know, listening to a video about a serial killer to send me off to sleep. You know, it's crazy, isn't it, really? But my favourite one is the Sleep Cove. That is my favourite. So we're all dropping off now. Yeah, it's like, oh gosh, if I play it anymore, we'll all just fall asleep live on stream. We'll all fall asleep live on stream, won't we? Oh. See, when I first realised it was like hypnosis, it scared me a bit, because I've always been a bit scared of being hypnotised, because, you know, I'm always scared that you might do things that you don't realise what you're doing. I hate being out of control, you know. Hi, DMV. You know, I don't like being out of control. So the thought of someone hypnotising me and me not being in control of what I was doing, that would terrify me. So at first I was a bit sort of dubious about listening to it when I realised it was hypnotherapy. But then I thought, good, I've already listened to it loads of times, so it's no point in worrying about it now. I've listened to it for ages. So, oh dear. What's Charlie doing? He's going to a club. Who's talking about doing the Macarena? It's too late for the Macarena, surely. Everyone's falling asleep now. It's that hypnotist. Oh. Yeah, honestly, I would recommend it to anyone. Anyone who... No, I've never overslept. I never oversleep. Ocean, a lot of people have said my voice sends them off to sleep. So, yeah, it's like... no, I don't think I've overslept after it. No, it just sends me off into a good sleep. I've never overslept, though, because of it. Maybe we should do the Macarena. Oh, can't do that for St. Pat. Right, so we've decided, haven't we, that we're going to have a little party for St. Patrick's Day. So what you can start doing now, when is St. Patrick's Day? Is it when I'm away? Let me just check. I just need to check, because, of course, I'm going on location. So, when is it this year, St. Patrick's Day? Charlie will know. Charlie knows all these dates, doesn't he? But let's have a look. 17th. Oh, God. 17th. What day is that then this year? 17th of March. Oh, it's on Sunday. Who's this Sunday? Shall we celebrate St. Patrick's Day on Sunday then? I think some of you may be doing stuff anyway for St. Patrick's Day, but do you know what? Until we've mentioned it tonight, I didn't even know it was St. Patrick's Day. So I think, yes. So, God, I've got nothing green. I've got nothing green to wear. What have I got that's Irish? Nothing. Oh, so I'll have to think, oh my God, it's Wednesday already. I've got to start planning that. If you've got anything Irish, send it in to me. You know, when we do like a party or something, like when we did the Burns night or when we did Valentine's Day, etc. I normally get you to send in like some photos, or anything that's Irish, poems, photos, videos, anything Irish, and we'll celebrate St. Patrick's Day on Sunday at some point on Sunday, probably sort of tea time-ish. Just get drunk, yeah, for St. Pat's Day. But I think, no, I'll tell you what I might do is a quiz. I'm going to do a quiz. I'm going to get to the Chinese shop and buy an outfit. I like to wear. I threw away my wig, so I can't wear that wig. I threw it away the other day because it was getting on my nerves. Yeah, what do I need to get some Guinness in. Get some Guinness. That's typical Irish drink, isn't it? And think of something typical Irish to wear. I'm not sure what yet. Leprechaun. Yeah, maybe a leprechaun. Something. I'll think of something. I'll have something interesting on, that's for sure. Just to make you laugh. We need a laugh, don't we? We need a laugh. especially after this bloody sinister Stephen Stearns. I mean, it's been awful, that case. It really has. Well, it hasn't finished yet until he's actually charged with murder. So, yeah, we'll do that on Sunday. On Sunday, we'll celebrate St. Patrick's Day and we'll have a little laugh. Shamrocks, yeah. Send me some shamrocks. The Blarney Stone, isn't it? Anything Irish. Where's Irish Eyes? I haven't seen Irish Eyes on here for a while. But I think she's still a member, so maybe she's watching. But yeah, Irish Eyes would be good at that. Clovers, Pot of Gold, yeah. Yeah, I think probably the most typical Irish thing is probably a leprechaun, isn't it? Or whatever. And a 3-leaf clover. Let me have a look. And of course, I am a quarter Irish. So I'm a quarter Irish, a quarter Scottish, and half English, I think. So typical Irish. Whiskey, Irish whiskey, of course, Irish coffee, bacon and cabbage, Irish stew, and Guinness. Leprechauns, the Irish flag, the look of the Irish. Yeah, there you go. That's Sunday sorted. I'll try and learn the harp by Sunday, Mello. Otherwise, you could always take a video of you playing the harp and send it to me. Oh, dear me. That's what we'll do Sunday. Yeah, I think I'm going to get a Guinness, I think, rather than Irish whiskey. I don't think I've quite recovered from the whiskey that I drunk on Burns night. You know, it took me ages to recover from that. I think Guinness. I haven't had a Guinness for ages, so I'll enjoy that. I look forward to that. River dance. You won't be seeing me do the river dance. You know. And Guinness is good for you, isn't it? Guinness is good for you. So that's a good excuse. As if I need one, I don't need an excuse, but Guinness is definitely good for you. So I'm going to get a few cans of Guinness. Guinness chocolate. Oh dear, don't get me going. Okay, so I'm sure, let me just make sure there was nothing that was going to show you that I haven't showed you yet. Now that I seem to have woken up now that we've been talking about St. Patrick's Day. Yeah, I just want to mention one thing. No, I'm not going to mention that. I'll do that another day, another video. Oh, I've got so many videos in the pipeline. You know, there's always something, isn't there? Always something going on in the world. I don't want to talk about anything depressing now because we've cheered up talking about yeah, I'm not going to talk about anything about any of the cases now because we've cheered ourselves up a bit by talking about St. Patrick's Day and watching Riley's silly video and stuff like that. So yeah, we'll look at the little people. We'll look at the legend of the Blarney Stone and all things Irish. So thanks for being here with me tonight. Maybe by tomorrow, Samantha might have been found. We might have some murder charges in the Madeleine case, some more developments. Any developments, I'll let you know. But tomorrow is Thursday. So tomorrow is Members Live, tomorrow night. I'm looking forward to that. So I'm going to tell you when I'm going on location. We're going to look at some things about Nicola Bully, about Peter Folding. What was the other thing? There was 3 things I thought that I was going to look at. Oh, that is 3 things. Yeah, the mystery location, Nicola Bully, Peter Folding. I think that's it. And anything else that might come up in the meantime. Got quite a lot of new members to welcome, about 5 new members to welcome, so that'd be nice. So I'll see you tomorrow night, if not before. You know, you never know. I've got quite a lot of classes tomorrow, so I don't know if I'll be able to get any videos out tomorrow, but I'll try. Oh, it's Annie. Annie, yeah, you've just missed it. Sorry. I do send out notifications. I think you mustn't have your notifications on, Annie. Okay. I'll see you all tomorrow, and remember to live and love wisely, carefully, etc. All that. And until I see you again, may your God go with you. Bye.